Alright guys, so I came up with this cool design over here, and I made this while I was trying to figure out a way to convert my villagers from my villager breeder into zombie villagers so that I could convert them back for discounts and stuff like that. And I came up with this really cool design over here, and so this is the old design over here, for what I used to use back in my old bases. So basically what this would be is that you'd have a villager from the villager breeder. You'd have to flick this lever on, and you could manually convert these guys into zombie villagers. So this zombie can't get out because it sees the rail right there and counts it as a block. So it doesn't walk over the rail, and it stays in its little box there. And when the villager comes over, the minecart gets stuck by this block, gets converted by, getting hit by the zombie, and then you'd have to flick the lever to get it back through and on off, so they could convert it back to a villager. But that was really inconvenient because you'd have to keep flicking the lever, go back down to the villager chamber room, etc. And I thought of a way to automate this, and I actually came up with this really cool design over here. That basically, if you come over here, we can see that it automatically sticks at the piston here so that the villager cannot move. Gets hit by the zombie, and once it's converted, it poops it out over there. So basically how this design works is that I noticed that when the villager is sitting right here, that if it's in the minecart, just wait, hold on, let me get the villager in a minecart actually over here. You can see that its hitbox is exactly where this block is. I can't place a block here. I'm right clicking. You can't place a block here. Its head is like just like I don't know if I can angle myself right, but it's just above the block, I think, if you could see it right there. And so I came up with this design where this tripwire right here is just on this block right here above the second one. So when the villager is sitting in that minecart, and it's actually tall enough to trigger this tripwire here, but then when it becomes a zombie villager, you'll see that its hitbox goes underneath this tripwire right here, just right underneath, enough to disable the tripwire output so that it'll be pooped out of the system. So if you look really carefully right here, its hitbox is right there. It just goes just beneath this tripwire. It's a really cool design, actually. I didn't think I don't know. It's just, yeah. Just came to my mind, I guess. I don't know. But basically how I built this thing was you just have a tripwire right here, right above where the zombie is supposed to be. And the tripwire supposedly powers this piston, but it needs an update for it to actually extend here. So, because if you place this villager over here, the piston doesn't actually get fired because it's not being updated. So if you place another piston above it, this tripwire block right here that's powering this block will power this, and so it'll update the piston underneath so that it fires. So if you place this here, you can see that it works over here. And yeah, I mean, it's a pretty cool design. I'll rebuild it over here just so that if you want to, you can rebuild this in your survival world. And one thing is, if you notice over here, I've used one powered rail and then the rest normal rails, because if these are all powered rails, the villager will actually just go too fast for the system to actually pick it up, so that it'll just zoom past the piston that's supposed to catch the minecart. So it'll just go straight through it. It'll maybe not through it. I guess it gets pushed out, but yeah, you get the gist of it. So to make this thing, we're just gonna. So basically, this would be your villager breeder or output or whatever your villager comes from, and then I'm just placing a barrier here for now so you guys can see what's going on behind it, because it gets like all obstructed if you place blocks there, and it's really annoying to explain. But basically, you want to have like this little divot over here, and then a powered rail at the end, and then TG on. It doesn't matter if it goes down or whatever from now on here. This would just be your output to where you would cure the villagers or whatever. And then you would want to have your zombie over here. So tripwire hook above these 2 blocks where the zombie would be. You can just place a block on top so it doesn't burn. So you'd have the named zombie there. And the piston goes behind this block, so you can just place a piston right there. And I'm gonna make this out of glass so you guys can see what's happening. You want a piston above this so that it'll update this piston right down here so that it can actually fire out. Because if you don't have this piston above here, it won't fire. And you could just have a piece of redstone right here, but I think it looks cleaner with the piston on top because it's a bit more hidden. So you want to go out 2 blocks from that, I think. No, 3 blocks actually. So tripwire, and then you want the piece of string between them. And then again, I just have the barrier just so you guys can see what's happening. And yeah, that should be it. So we can test this over here. The villager go through, get hit by the zombie, and then its hitbox will change because the zombie goes into sitting mode over here. If that makes any sense, because the villager for some reason is just standing in it. Because normally when you sit in a minecart, your feet stick out. Like you can see, my feet are sticking out right there. But the villager doesn't do that until it's changed to a zombified villager for no reason. So I mean, yeah, it's a pretty cool design. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, etc. Alright, thanks, bye.